Legend of the Blue Eyes White Dragon was released on March 8th, 2002, and was the first set to be officially released for the Yu-Gi-Oh! Trading card game. What's interesting about this product is that there was a 3-week window in time where this was the only product available for purchase, meaning if you wanted to play with your friends or play in any sort of competitive environment, these were the only cards available in the card pool. And since the game had just been released, there was no limited list and no forbidden list. Every card was playable at 3 copies. In this series, both MBT and myself will be traversing the sands of Yu-Gi-Oh's history. Each episode will take a deep dive into Yu-Gi-Oh's past formats and unlock new strategies as new sets become available. Strap yourselves in because anything is possible. Welcome to the history of Yu-Gi-Oh! Alright guys, welcome to the very first episode of the history of Yu-Gi-Oh! Fans of the Yu-Gi-Oh! Progression series are really going to love this. So what we're going to be doing is we're going to be following and chronicling essentially Yu-Gi-Oh's history in order, set by set, kind of like the Progression series, but the thing is, rather than opening booster packs and kind of just taking whatever we get to make a deck, we're going to have access to everything in each given episode. So the next episode we'll get a new product, and that will be added to our collection of everything that we have access to kind of show how the meta actually did evolve for Yu-Gi-Oh! In terms of what the best decks were, how they were able to evolve, and really what got us to where we are today. So for our very first episode, we're going to be going back all the way to 2002 with Legend of Blue Eyes. What's absurd about this is that there was no forbidden list. There was no limited list yet. So you were able to play 3 Regeki, 3 Pot of Greed, 3 Monster Reborn, and it was actually legal. It was very short-lived because we got the first limited list not too long after the first sets were released, but still, this is absolutely crazy that we're going to be playing in a format like this. This is going to be a bloodbath. So we're going to go ahead and quickly go over our deck just to talk about our choices here. So we're starting off with 3 Hain. We're in a format where you're only going to be summoning 1 monster per turn, so having something like Hain that kind of just tempo bounces a card back to Joseph's hand is going to be really good because it'll really slow the game down and give us a lot of initiative. Same thing goes for Maneater Bug. I mean, it's removal for 1, but 2, it's able to kind of just take out any opposing threats, and that's just great. Any removal is amazing, even though we already have tons of it. I think Maneater Bug, especially being a monster on top of it, definitely gives you a lot of advantages. Then we have the 2K defenders being 3 Aquamador and 3 Giant Soldier of Stone. None of the level 4s in this format can deal with these, so I think playing as many of these 2K defenders as possible is probably the way to go, because if Joseph is never able to take care of them, then we're going to be in a pretty good position to be able to at some point just turn everything vertical and just win on the back of a Regeki. For our beaters, we have 3 Skull Redbird and 3 Uraby. These are the 2 strongest vanillas that are in the format. Skull Redbird being slightly better at 1550 and Uraby being 1500, so it's definitely going to be a slow grind, that's for sure. Some of you guys might be wondering why I'm not playing stuff, you know, like Dark Magician or Blue Eyes White Dragon or this Curse of Dragon that's down here in the side deck, and that's because look at all this removal. When you have Maneater Bugs and Hains and Dark Holes and Regekis and Fissures and Trap Holes, like, how can you expect to stick any of these for longer than a turn? I just don't think it's feasible to play any of these large monsters, and I think this is probably pretty representative of how, if you wanted to play any sort of like competitive format, this is probably what it had to be like. For the spells, 3 Dark Hole. If you need to clean up the board, Dark Hole is a great way to do so, especially if you have no monsters. Only 2 Fissure. This was one of the things I cut down when I was getting down to 40 cards because we have so many better forms of removal. Trap Hole is reactive, Regeki and Dark Hole clear everything. Maneater Bug's a monster, so I think that definitely counts for something. So Fissure just being one of, or excuse me, a 2 of is perfectly fine. Monster Reborn is going to be huge. We're able to get multiple threats onto the board. It's pretty much the only way we can summon more than once a turn, so maximizing on this is absolutely key. 3 Pot of Greed, that's just disgusting. 3 Regeki, equally as disgusting. 2 Stop Defense, I already touched on this a little bit, but if Joseph's going to be playing 2K defenders, which he most likely is, then we're going to want to have a way to turn those to attack mode so our Skull Redbird or our Uraby can run over them, and Stop Defense is kind of like a pseudo piece of removal when you look at it through that lens. Then we have 3 Swords of Revealing Light. Again, just another powerhouse of a card that I think the only way to answer is with like Armed Ninja, which we have in the side deck here. This buys us 3 turns to do whatever we want. We can still attack too, which is great. Just disgusting by LOB format standards. And then 3 trap cards, just 3 trap hole, which again, it pretty much is going to stop any of his big beaters, any of his advances. We're going to see how this plays out, but I think it's just a good card all around. For our side deck, we have 3 Armed Ninja. This is a way to pop his Swords of Revealing Light. It can also pop any of these other spells if he decides to set them for some reason, but I don't really feel like you would, so it doesn't really make sense. I have 1 Curse of Dragon. I'm not confident that playing tribute monsters is correct, but this is the strongest tribute monster in LOB, so I figured it makes sense to maybe just play 1 of it in case my initial strategy isn't working too well. I also have 3 Witty Phantom, so I figured that if I need to have more beaters, because it might get down to that point, that I want to have the next strongest beater, which is Witty Phantom at 1400. Then we have a 3rd copy of Fissure, 3 Gravedigger Ghoul. This is actually funny enough a way to like counter Monster Reborn, so I figured just throw it in the side deck. The 3rd Stop Defense if I need it, and then 3 Dragon Capture Jar if Joseph ends up playing any of the powerful dragons that are in this set. Probably not necessary because we have so much removal, but it's very thematic because it's just a counter to all the strongest cards in the set. I'm excited. This is going to be absolutely ridiculous, and so let's just get into it.
Well, I hate to start off a new series this way, with a debilitating and embarrassing defeat on the part of its host, but there is no way I lose this set. I am completely confident I will 2-0 Cimo, provided he isn't playing exactly the same list I am. Let me explain. We're playing LOB only. That means there is only 1 set legal, and it's a very limited card pool. When building for limited environments like this, you need to be trying to find the outliers in the format. Now, I'm sure Cimo is breaking an arm, patting himself on the back in the other call for finding out that Skull Red Bird has 1500 attack. That's nothing. For me, the outliers in this set are the cards with 2000 defense. I'm talking about Aquamador. I'm talking about Giant Soldier of Stone. I'm talking about Spirit of the Harp, and I'm talking about Mystical Elf. Not only does no 4-star monster get over these cards natively, no 4-star monster with an equip spell gets over these cards. I think the closest we get in 5-star monsters is Curse of Dragon at 2000, meaning that Cimo will have to 3-4-1 himself to out these individual cards. I think that they will provide an impenetrable wall to my life points to which Cimo will not be able to get over, netting me the time necessary to draw all 5 pieces of Exodia. Now keep in mind, it is very possible that Cimo has tunneled on to an aggressive strategy with stuff like Skull Red Bird and Celtic Guardian. Don't laugh, that's what we had to play with at the time. That's why I'm playing 3 Dark Hole, 3 Raigeki, and 3 Fissure. Ideally, this will be enough monster removal that I can trade profitably while still preserving my life total. We're playing Monster Reborn for similar reasons. Some of the earliest stuff that was topping in the fake format that existed around this time was Blue Eyes White Dragon reanimation strategies where you'd find a way to get it into the graveyard and then reborn it with Monster Reborn. I think taking an opponent's Blue Eyes from the graveyard before they're able to take it themselves is probably just as good. Pot of Greed, of course, is at 3, and I'm sure we'll take full advantage of it. Swords of Revealing Light is effectively just Card of Demise in this format, an extremely slow, stunny card that ends up netting you 3 draw phases. Now, notably, Swords of Revealing Light is very bad in a format where something like Mystical Space Typhoon can threaten it, but the only type of removal in the format for spells and traps is the remove trap line of cards, which I think is going to be found extremely wanting. We're also playing Trap Hole because realistically, if our opponent draws the same number of Dark Holes and Raigekis as we do, they can trade in a way that they're able to remain ahead in terms of attacking and hit in once before we respond with our own piece of removal. Trap Hole is a more reactive piece of removal that we'll need to preserve our life total. All in all, I would be shocked if Cimo comes close to winning. I am that confident.
Joseph, I am super excited for this. I mean, talk about, like, Thanos wearing the Infinity Gauntlet. Like, having 3 Raigekis, 3 Dark Holes, 3 Monster Reborns, 3 Pot of Greed. Like, what more could you really ask for?
It's fantastic to just kind of see how Yu-Gi-Oh! Used to be. You know, we waste a lot of time on Twitter.com talking about how the game is fundamentally over. Dragon Link has ruined Yu-Gi-Oh! Once and for all. You gotta remember, there was a time when you could play 3 Pot of Greed, and people did. I mean, this game is fraught with bad formats, as I think we're about to find out.
Yeah, this is going to be a very interesting piece of YouTube and Yu-Gi-Oh! History as we go episode by episode, traversing the dark depths of Yu-Gi-Oh's horrible past at times.
There were the good times, of course, and then there were the times when everyone was allowed 9 sweepers.
If anything, it's going to be pure entertainment for the spectators as they watch us struggle to have to navigate this absolute minefield of a format. But let's just rock, paper, scissors it out. Oh, man. I mean, I've been practicing against Gage in the progression series. I got this, but come!
Anyone who knows me knows that paper strat never fails, baby. Oh god. I can never determine which one I want to be in old formats.
This would be going based off of actual meta, so you would be drawing a card for a turn going first. So
I don't care about the card. What about the battle phase?
I mean, that's also important too. That does matter.
All right, I am going to elect to take the battle phase. I think it is unparalleled, and I think you're going to regret not doing so.
Okay, well, good luck. I will start by drawing my card for turn. Man, I can't remember the first time that, or the last time rather, that I said that. I will just go ahead and I'm gonna set, and I will pass.
What on earth would you set in this format? Is that a dragon capture jar?
It could be. You never know.
Let's try this. I'm going to set it in this zone to play around Mech Knights, but I think I feel pretty good about this.
Okay, so I'm going to draw. I'm going to flip up my Man-Eater Bug.
I figured.
And we're going to pop that set monster of yours.
Rest in peace, Spirit
of the Harp. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and normal summon Giant Soldier of Stone, and since this might be the only time for me to get in damage, I'm going to go ahead and swing in for 1750.
You got it.
And I'll pass the turn. Go ahead.
We're going to try this.
Okay. So I'm going to draw. What's so horrible about this is that there's only like one of 4 things that set card could be. It's either something with 2000 defense, a Man-Eater Bug, or a Hane. And like, that's pretty much the only option.
But if I Hane your Man-Eater Bug, think of the value.
I mean, that's just absurd value there. So let's go ahead and I'm going to go to battle phase. I'm just going to attack this. I know it's a 2K defender, so just show it to me.
It could be anything. It could be anything.
Yep.
It is a 2K defender.
Yeah, so I'm going to go ahead and take the 700. I'll go to main 2. I'm going to switch my Man-Eater Bug to defense mode, and I'm going to set a monster and pass the turn. This is peak Yu-Gi-Oh, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah, I'm going to try this play right here. It's a little controversial, and I hope that it pays off for me, but we shall certainly see.
I'm gonna draw. That is horrible. Where's my Tsukiyomi when you need it? Well, Giant Soldier of Stone. Get on in there, buddy.
This is stone-on-stone violence, I have to tell you.
So I'm gonna take another 700. Look at that. We're about equal now. I will... I don't know. I think I'm just gonna pass. Go ahead.
All right, fine by me. I will set 1 card and pass turn. Do you feel outskilled yet?
Oh, you're... I don't even know what to say at this point. This is great. This is so great.
I fear we may have both independently figured out what the best deck is.
Let's see. I'm gonna normal summon Giant Soldier of Stone.
Next we will link summon a Nightmare Unicorn.
Is that fine?
Yes, that's fine.
Okay. I'm probably gonna regret this. I'm gonna Regeki.
Oh, my monsters. That's frustrating, but still fine.
Okay. I'm gonna flip up this Aquamador.
Ooh, broken.
And I'm gonna
I will activate Trap Hole in response to your Aquamador.
Figured you would want to maybe kind of stop some of the damage here. I'm gonna get in for 450 and then 1300 times 2.
All right, sounds good.
And I'll pass the turn.
Okay, I'll draw for turn, and unsurprisingly, I do have a Dark Hole.
Shocker. Nice little 3-for-1 on your end.
It was actually a really bad trade. You see, I got a 3-for-1, but you got a 2600 for 1 in terms of life points.
Broken. I'm just gonna pass. Go.
Oh, the onus is on me to start the pressure, and I will absolutely give it back to you.
All right, I will set a monster and pass. I don't know who's going to want to watch this. That's my question.
Yeah, sound off in the comments if you're shocked by the thrilling plays you're seeing. Here, I'll try and jazz it up for you. Another monster in defense position? Ugh, what could it be?
Go.
Is it Spirit of the Harp, or is it Mystical Elf? I'll never know. Alright, I think I can eke one more turn out of that.
Oh, so you have to discard. It's 6, I'm sorry. 7
Oh,
is
it's
where you have to
6?
discard. Yes.
Alright, in that case, I'll do something different.
Okay, I'll let you do something. Go ahead.
We're gonna Dark Hole.
Oh, sure.
And then I'll slap one of these bad boys down. Alright, you are good to go.
I mean, talk about control. This is like almost the embodiment of control.
People talk about Mystic Mine like it's such a huge departure from what Yu-Gi-Oh! Used to be. This is pure, unfiltered Yu-Gi-Oh! Set pass, good luck to ya.
I'm gonna do something a little bit risky, but there could be some payoff here. I'm gonna activate Swords of Revealing Light.
It is not Man-Eater Bug.
Oh, that's unfortunate. Okay, so it is Spirit of the Harp. Well, I'll just pass then. I mean, there's really no point to do anything.
Now, are there cards in the format that out Swords of Revealing Light? I think I'm actually just stuck staring at you for a couple of turns.
Armed Ninja, as a matter of fact, does out Swords of Revealing Light.
Oh, I should definitely be playing that. I'm shocked.
Oh,
we're
man.
what, 25 cards deep? No Pots of Greed yet?
I was about to say, I feel like we should have some Pots of Greed rolling by this point, but clearly not. Okay, so turn 1 on Swords. I am going to Dark Hole.
Sure.
Okay, another Man-Eater Bug out of your deck. That's pretty good. Let's try to get some damage in, I suppose. I'm going to summon Urabi and attack you for 1,500.
Oh my god. Yeah, you got it.
Go ahead.
Okay. Well, I'm going to lead with a Fissure.
That's unfortunate, sure.
We'll set 1, and you are good to go.
All right, that's turn 2 on Swords. I will draw. I will just set and pass. Go ahead.
This is going well, I have to say.
Swords is expired. So at least you could attack me now. That's a relief, isn't it?
I was doing so much of it.
I will just set, and I will set and pass.
Sure. This is a thinker.
Oh, someone's looking in the graveyard. Someone draw Monster Reborn.
Oh, whoa. It could be anything. It could be anything. What am I gonna reborn? Urabi?
I mean, he's got fast feet.
I've heard. Gonna pass turn.
Draw. Horrible. Go.
Oh, man. This is a rough one. I don't think I can pass this up. I'm gonna Regeki.
Oh, yeah. I had this feeling that a Regeki was coming at some point, and I wanted to capitalize, but fortunately you did get a Man-Eater Bug out of it.
Okay, I'll take it.
Gonna pass. Oh, finally! There we go. You Regeki'd at the right time.
Yeah, okay. All right. I'm not mad.
And I'm gonna do something you're probably not gonna expect. Go.
Whoa! That's so powerful. I'm gonna fire a Man-Eater Bug on this card.
You're gonna take out my Man-Eater Bug.
Broken. All right, let's get in for 450.
I will take it.
We're getting there. I got you on the 20-turn clock.
All right, I will draw. I'm gonna go ahead and normal summon out Skull Redbird, and we're gonna get into that Man-Eater Bug.
No problem. I have no issue with that.
Life points are getting pretty low though, Joseph.
I can see that.
I will pass the turn.
All right. I'm gonna fire off this Fissure.
Yeah, you got it.
Then we will set 1 card and pass the turn.
Dual monsters as Pegasus intended. Oh, can I just win the game? Oh, maybe. I'm gonna go ahead and fire off Stop Defense and target this monster.
Okay.
Oh, that's unfortunate.
I'm sweating bullets over here, dude.
It had to be the one that has more attack. Well, Skull Redbird, get in there.
I will gladly take my 250.
Go. This is such a grind.
Okay. I'm a little mad about this. I am going to activate Monster Reborn.
Okay.
Give me your Skull Red Bird.
You may have it.
All right. And now, crash, my bird.
Wow. Okay, sure. Sets. Okay. I will set a card and pass to you.
Okay. I am going to activate Monster Reborn again.
That's pretty good.
See, you'd think so, but there's not too much to bring back, in fact.
You could have taken my Skull Redbird and just attacked into my set monster.
Oh, yeah. Great idea with 350 life points.
Okay, let's fire off a Fisher. Let's take care of that soldier.
All right. May he rest in peace.
I'm gonna fire off another Swords. Let's see what this is.
Sure.
Okay, so it's a mystical elf. I'm gonna go ahead and fire off another Fisher.
Yep.
I'm going to flip up this giant soldier of stone.
Unfortunately, this monster has 1,000 attack.
It does, but unfortunately, I have a monster reborn.
Oh, you gotta be kidding me! Okay, but wait. Okay, yes, you did win this. But I will point out, 22 cards, no Pot of Greed, no Swords of Revealing Light. Okay, I'm still confident.
So Joseph, how you feeling after that game one?
I've been better. I've been better. Certainly, I would hope that in game 2, I'm able to draw a Pot of Greed.
You're still opting to go second. Interesting.
Yes!
You are not going to be happy with the direction that this game is going to take.
I believe you.
So I will draw my card for turn because we are playing by old rules. I am going to start off with a Pot of Greed.
Oh, well, la-dee-da. The rich get richer.
I will start things off by setting a monster and passing the turn.
Dude, this is just such an innovative, interesting strategy. I gotta ask, did you spend long thinking of this? Oh, hell yeah. Actually, forget everything I was just saying. In fact, I'm the most skilled player in the universe. All right,
Yeah,
give me the
that's
cards,
fine.
baby. Do you have an Ash Blossom? Is this okay?
No, yeah, you're fine. No Ash,
All right.
unfortunately.
Let's go for it.
Not bad. I'm going to flip up this copy of Hane and bounce your monster back to your hand.
Oh my god, is this a joke? Okay.
And, I mean, you probably have Trap Hole.
Whoa, no, it could be, Dragon Capture Jar.
That's true, but that would also require you to be bad at the same time.
Really sleeping on two-pronged attack here, I gotta tell you.
I mean, with the amount of monsters we've had on the field, that could maybe be viable. I will just set, and I will go to battle phase and attack with Hane for 450.
You got it. I'm not too beat up about it.
I'll pass the turn.
All right. Well, I'm gonna lead with a Dark Hole.
Okay. That is going to take out my Hane and my Man-Eater Bug.
And then I'm gonna set one card.
But was it the one you set before? That's the question.
It could be anything, realistically.
Could be. Let's go ahead and see what it is. I'm going to stop defense your set monster.
Yeah, well, it's this boy.
It is
It's the friend.
that boy. So with that, I will go ahead and set. And just for good measure, I'll go ahead and fire off another Pot of Greed.
All right.
Go ahead.
I like to know what I'm up against. So, let's take a look at that little set card you've got.
It is going to be my own Giant Soldier of Stone.
Ooh, nice card. Would be a shame if I had Fissure in my hand.
You got it.
All right. Let's do some damage for the first time this
Yeah! I'll take the 13.
set. With that, back to you.
I will draw. So I'm under swords, so can't really do too much with that. We'll set a nice little monster and we'll pass the turn.
All right. That's going to be the first sword. I suppose I'll just switch my monster to defense position and pass it back to you.
What are you so afraid of?
Armed ninja.
Could be a very real threat. You never know. I will just set a card and pass the turn.
All right. Can I see another Pot of Greed? I'm already sick.
Oh, he's going back into attack. No fear this time.
I'm going for it.
It's my Aquamador, so you're going to take
All
some
right.
damage.
Sounds good.
I kind of feel like you've got a fissure in the works.
Wait, it could be anything.
Yeah, there it is.
All right.
Okay. Let's draw. I will just set another monster and pass it to you.
And with that, Swords of Revealing Light has revealed its last light. Get this boy in defense position and pass turn.
Sure, I will draw. I'm going to go ahead and summon Urabi.
All right.
That's fine?
Yeah, that's fine.
I'm going to go ahead and flip up this copy of Hane and bounce your soldier back to your hand.
Ooh, all right. Okay.
And let's hit in for a total of 1950.
Wow, getting aggressive here.
Yeah, just a little bit. I will pass the turn.
All right. I will lead with a Dark Hole.
Figured as much. That's fine.
And I will... let's normal summon the Giant Soldier of Stone.
We will trap hole the Giant Soldier of Stone.
I figured. All right. Back to you.
All right, I will draw. Go ahead and normal summon a copy of Skull Redbird.
You forced my hand, Alex. Take this.
I figured that was going to be coming at some point. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to, as a follow-up, activate Monster Reborn.
I see. Okay.
And we're going to get Skull Redbird back, but that's not all, Joseph. I'm just kidding. That's all. I'm going to go ahead and attack you for 1550.
Sounds excellent. I'm just so very happy to see it.
And I will pass the turn.
Well, I think we can take a quick breather after that much action.
Yeah, sure.
Probably in our best interests.
Oh, man. I will set a card and pass the turn.
All right, that's one. I'll draw for turn, set this bad boy, and pass turn back to you.
Sure. I will draw, and I'm actually just going to pass to you.
All right, to 2. Draw. Let's flip up the big boy and pop that Skull Redbird.
He has been popped.
I'll get in for a whopping 450.
Hey, it adds up.
And I'll set one card.
Sure. I will draw. I will set and pass, and your swords have expired.
All right, we got through 2 of them. Now let's get some Pot of Greeds going, please.
You know, people can't say that this format in particular isn't interactive.
There is interaction occurring. I mean, there's not much of it, and it feels terrible, but, you know, it's happening.
Okay. I'm going to flip up Giant Soldier of Stone. Is that fine?
That is okay.
Okay. I actually think I won the game.
Uh-oh.
Let's see. I mean, it's really going to depend. I'm going to Raigeki your board.
Okay.
And I'm going to activate Monster Reborn and target my Skull Redbird.
That's fine.
And I'm going to activate a second Monster Reborn and bring back my Urabe.
Oh, how could this happen? Oh,
Battle
God.
phase.
Does this work? Does this do anything?
It does not work on special summon monsters. No, sir.
God.
What was in your hand?
Well, a lot of reactive stuff. I got greedy.
Wow. Oh, you were playing Exodia? What the fuck?
I was playing Exodia. I may have made some poor choices in deck building. I did foresee this. I was like, well, the only bad scenario, everything that removes any monsters is reactive. So if Cimo just gets like 2 or 3 good hits in, I could die out of nowhere. And that's exactly what happened. Oh, painful.
Yeah, that was kind of my logic, which is why I was taking those advantages and opportunities when I could to just even swing in for like 19, because if there could be this colossal swing with Monster Reborn, like that's how you're going to win the game, you know? And
it wasn't until we loaded in that I thought, oh God, Trap Hole interacts so poorly with Monster Reborn specifically. I hope it doesn't come up.
I mean, to be fair, though, Trap Hole pretty much fends off every other monster we have in our deck that isn't being summoned off Monster Reborn. So
that is correct.
I don't actually hate the Exodia strategy, though, because, like, look how deep into our decks we were getting with these games.
Game 1, I spent 6 turns on 4 pieces.
Did you? You were at 4 pieces in game 1?
4 pieces for about 60% of the game. I was losing my mind. We got 21 cards deep, no Pots of Greed, no Swords of Revealing Light, which is just a draw 3 in this game. Oh, God.
If you would have resolved Exodia, I think you would have been the hero of this episode, 100. I think you still are because you played Exodia anyway, but
let me
oh
see
my
how deep
God.
it is. I have to know. Oh my God, there was no winning this game for me.
Well,
Oh,
I'm curious
God.
how close, because we don't know from game 1, since you said you had 4 pieces. I'm curious how deep the last piece was.
Yeah, I guess I could probably go into my own dual records, but wow, what a miserable format. I gotta tell you, I am absolutely glad that this was never played in anything other than kitchen table. You know, if there were tournaments for this, Yu-Gi-Oh would have been laughed out of every place where they were already playing Magic the Gathering.
It's so crazy to see where it really first originated, though, because Starter Deck Yugi and Kaiba actually were released right after LOB was, so while there was only maybe a small, maybe 2-week window where this is really all you had to play with, that's still ridiculous. And when we get to Starter Deck Yugi and Kaiba in the next episode, I mean, talk about power creep. I mean, La Jin is an 1800 level 4. That alone just completely changes everything. You have, what, Change of Heart is in there as well, so now you're able to take control of some of these set monsters to maybe clear the way and get more aggressive. And again, there's still no Forbidden and Limited list yet, so all of these cards can be played at 3. This is going to be insane.
I'm actually hard-pressed to think of what we would cut. Yeah, there's so many good cards in our decks, like the Fissures, the Dark Holes, the Raigekis, the Monster Reborns, the Swords of Revealing Lights at this point in Yu-Gi-Oh's history. What are we taking out to make room for Change of Heart, Lodge In, and Curse of Dragon?
I mean, I think there's an argument to be made. You could play some less copies of... I mean, well, Lodge In can replace just the Urabies or the Skull Red Birds. That's an easy swap. I think there's an argument to be made for, you know, dialing down the Dark Holes because, you know, it's not a one-sided board wipe like Raigeki is, but, you know, if you're swapping that with Change of Heart, there were so many times while we were playing that Dark Hole was just sitting in my hand, and I was really just waiting to 2, if not 3 for 1U, and I think you probably felt the same. And if it was a more proactive card, we could have gotten maybe a little bit more aggressive with it. And so I think there's definitely substitutes to be made for sure, but just really interesting insight into just how the first TCG meta of Yu-Gi-Oh looked. It's pretty spectacular, honestly.
One thing I hadn't expected was for life points to matter. I'm so used to one player just barfing their hand out and the other player doing everything they can to not die on the exact second turn that I forgot that there's an entire point of the game where you're looking at a number go down slowly and getting more and more anxious. I definitely was feeling the pressure at about 3,000 life points and trying to think, do I Raigeki a board of 1 monster? Do I reborn a 2,000 defense point monster just to hedge against like another Raigeki or a Dark Hole or a Fissure play? What a weird type of gameplay that we've just absolutely forgotten about.
And it's bizarre too because, you know, we're only normal summoning a monster a turn unless you have Monster Reborn. There's no other way for us to put monsters on the field aside from the normal summon, which, you know, people make the joke now about special summoning being the new normal summon, but like, this is why it was called the normal summon. That's like all you did primarily in your first turn. And yeah, there are those arguments to be made and those decision points where it's like, if he has a way to kill me, if I don't just Raigeki for 1, that is the correct play. You know, it's so backwards compared to how we've been conditioned to think by modern Yu-Gi-Oh standards that I thought it was refreshing, honestly.
Yeah, I thought it was refreshing in like a theoretical perspective. It was fun to think, oh, that's interesting. It would not be fun to play this more than one time, I don't think.
That was probably how you felt initially before we went into this video. You're like, man, this sounds like a cool idea. And then we just played it and you're like, I never want to do this again.
Man, this sounds like a cool idea. And I was wrong. I can admit that. I'm an adult.
This is exciting, though. It's going to be a start of a brand new series that I think a lot of people are really going to enjoy because it's really going to really give some insight into how Yu-Gi-Oh used to be, and not just, you know, acquiring booster packs necessarily. I mean, I already have the progression series for that, but this is going to be more just tailored towards like what were like just the best ways you could play Yu-Gi-Oh back then. And I think that's just going to be really cool to kind of measure the evolution of that, especially with power creep. I mean, we're already seeing in the progression series how crazy power creep's becoming there. Imagine when you have no limitations on what cards you're putting into your deck aside from, you know, what set you're arbitrarily allowing into the format. I mean, it's going to be crazy.
I'm excited to jam some Teledad in about 2 months, I gotta tell you.
And that's probably when I'll take another 4-year hiatus from the game. So, guys, that's going to go ahead and wrap it up. I hope you guys really enjoyed this episode, this first episode, rather, of the history of Yu-Gi-Oh! Be sure to let us know down in the comments what you think. Hashtag Team Cimo, hashtag Team MBT. Whose side are you on? Anything can happen. And we've got some fun surprises in store for you guys to keep things more interesting as we get into some of the later sets, just so we're not having to always come up with the best deck. Joseph already knows what I'm talking about.
You'll want to stay tuned.
Oh yeah, it's going to be good. So guys, thank you so much for watching the video, and we will see you next time.